Hey all, Lawrence from Express Unity, and today we were going to continue our survival multiplayer tutorial. Now in our last video, we ended up basically completing our island spawner with the last thing to do on it is our building objects. So things like that could be like random towers that just spawn around the island. But for now, I'm not really going to do anything like that. So I'm just gonna leave that there, and maybe later on we might end up implementing something like that. But I don't think there is anything else we need to do for the island spawner. So it's pretty much there. It synchronizes. It's all there. So I'm happy with that. What I want to fix now is basically the player controller, because the current movement is just very basic and just doesn't really work well with the terrain that we have set. So what we are going to do is make a completely new movement system. So just trying to think how we can do this. I think the first thing that we do want is to have a public bull, and I'm just going to call this is grounded, and we'll set this to true by default. Then outside the update, let's go ahead and do our void on collision enter, and then on collision exit. Now for now I'm not going to enter any tags, but no, that's not what we called it. We called it is grounded. So when it's on collision enter, we are grounded, and then when we are exit a collision, we are not grounded. So this should be used with a tag. We're just going to do it like that for now. Alright, so what I'm going to do is comment out this area here, so we can come back to it if need be. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is create a new variable, and I'm just going to call this tval for target velocity, and we will equal that to a new vector3, and this is going to be our input.getAxes, and we want to get our horizontal for our first one, and for our y we're actually going to set it to 0, and then for our z we want is gyro, returns default gyroscope. Okay, I've never even seen that before, but that's something I will explore later on. So for the Z, we will get the vertical. Okay, now tval will equal transform, if I can spell, dot transform direction, I believe, and then this will be tval, I think. Oh, why did it transform direction, and then that parameter will be tval. Okay, so now we want to times this by our move speed. So I believe we have something here. We got speed, so we can just say tval, and we want to times it by our move speed. What's going on? Oh, speed. Okay. And now, so we got this down. We should. Now we need to apply a force to our rigid body. So we want to create a new variable, and I'm just going to call this val for velocity, and we're going to equal that to our body dot velocity. And then what we want to do is say var, and I'll call this vel change, like so. And this is going to be equal to our cval, take away our current velocity. So that should set things right for us to start applying our forces. So now what we want to do is go body dot add force, and we should be able to just pass in our velocity change, and then our force mode will actually be dot velocity change. Now what we want to do after this is apply our own gravity. So I'm going to come out and go into where our player is in our scene here. And for our rigid body here, we are going to uncheck use gravity and just enable the object for a second so that we can... What is Unity doing? Okay, so we can just apply that. And now what we want to do is say body.add force, and then we want to get a new vector 3, and we're not going to be applying anything to our x, but for our y we're going to apply -8 times our current body dot mass. And now what we want to do is just set our z to 0. Now that we've got that, we need to apply our grounded variable here. So creating the first segment, we can just say is grounded. Then if it is grounded, we basically want to run the first part of our code. If it's not grounded, then we're going to start applying gravity. So just having a look, I think that should do it. Wait for it to compile. Okay. Oh, we got the first error. I think what is happening is we've got our is grounded set to true immediately when it should be set to false. Okay, there we go. So now I think we should have a pretty solid movement. Can't find things like that, but we now need to make it so the cursor is actually blocked. But we have a pretty solid movement. Now stuck on something. Okay, so what we're going to do is set is grounded to false by default. So we should immediately start dropping... Oh, I forgot to disable the player. Okay, so we should immediately start dropping as soon as we spawn in. There we go. Move around. Okay, that's pretty good. Kind of bounce down there. There might be a few issues with some collision at the moment because we don't actually have any like any ifs basically saying if it's ground or land, but for now we're just gonna leave it as is. Movement is 100% better, and in fact if you're following the multiplayer FPS tutorial, I would highly suggest that you just use this movement as well because it's just better. Let's see. Still slide on some bits, but that's alright. Okay. So, we now have our movement done. Now, someone in our Discord also, he basically wanted to have a run key for when you double tap W. So, here's how I would do it with this particular code. So, trying to make it on the spot here, trying to think. I think I would definitely need a timer. So let's go ahead and create a float. I'll call it run timer. Or actually, it would probably be better named for walk timer. Start it off as a 0. Now what we can say is if input.getKey, and our key in this case will be keycode dot W. You would want to set this to whatever forward action your key is, but let's just say we get our key. So if we do get that, okay, so what we can say is walk timer plus e equals time.delta time. And then what we want is, let's say, a int, we'll call it press needed or run, I don't know. And we'll default that to 0. So what we want to do now is if input dot get key down keycode.w, and we want to say if walk timer is less than or equal to, I don't know, what's a good time? Maybe like 0.5 might be a good time. Oops. So if the timer is less than that, then we can, what did I call it? Press needed for run. Press needed for run can just be plus plus. And another thing that we do up here on the key down is make our walk timer equal to 0. Now, what we can do is if press needed for run is less than or equal to 0, actually no, if it's less than 2, I believe, then we want to do that. And then if it is else if, actually, so else if press needed for run greater than or equal to 2. And then let's do something like speed, I don't know, whatever you want to increase this by. Let's just default it to 20. So now I think that should be good. I think. The only way to really test is to give it a shot. This is actually probably the first time in a really long while that I'll be implementing run in this fashion, so I expect it not to work. Okay, so I'm just holding on to W. Now, if I let go of it, and okay, that didn't seem to work, did it? Okay. So let's see. So when we're holding W plus equals K equal to 0. So this should only fire once. Let's just make this a public for a quick second, just to test it out and see what exactly is going on. It's gonna probably be the most simplest of things, but alright, so let's just find our player. Okay, so our walk timer, if I hold W, it increases. And okay, as soon as I let it go, oh, oh, actually, maybe that won't work. Because I think what's happening is this is always incrementing. So once it's set, it will not come back down. So just trying to think how we can remove that without affecting much. I think what we can end up doing is if input.get key up, and then we get our key code.w, and then we say if walk timer is greater than or equal to 0.5, then the press needed for run is going to be set back down to 0. So I think that should solve our problem. Alright, so let's go back down to where our player is. We'll check the timer. Okay, so if we're holding it down, that's all good. Okay. There you go, so we're not running now. Okay. Now if I double tap, there it is. We're now extremely fast. If I let go, we stop running. Double tap, we run. Let go. Okay, we're flying. So walking, double tap, let go, walking, double tap. There we go. Now have a double tap for our run. Now there is some things I would do because I think that run speed is definitely too fast. So I'm maybe just going to plus it by 5. Because our island is already quite small, I don't really want people to zoom across the map in 2 seconds. So walking, double tap. I mean, I think that's still pretty fast, but this is our normal walk pace. Even our normal walk pace might be, I don't think it's our walk pace. I think the problem is our island is just way too small. So I may increase that later. Oh, another thing with our grass. So we have this mesh collider. We don't actually want our grass to collide with our player. So I'm going to actually give it a tag. What can I call it? I guess we'll just give it a new layer. I'll just call it grass object. And we will apply that. So now if we go into edit, go into project settings, and then we want to go into physics, and we want to get the player and grass object to ignore each other. And I think we need to, oh no, I've already set that. Alright, great. Why isn't this box going? There it is. Okay, so that should be good. So if we go... Oh, still collide? Oh no, I don't think we are. Let's go find another... Okay, here. Yeah, we're not colliding with it anymore. We've kind of ended up getting stuck in between these two areas. So, yeah, there is a bit of a problem with this, but for now we're just gonna leave it. This is the current walking system is 100% better than what it was. Now, I did have a thought about the island spawner. I can't remember what I was gonna do to it though. Oh, it's like, as I was making the player movement, I was like thinking about something with it, but now I just can't remember what I was gonna do with it. Yeah, well, that's alright. I think our island is too small, so what I'm gonna do is just drag our bases and our land areas, and I'm actually going to scale these up quite a bit. So I want the map to be quite large. This could be bad, as it could use up all our photon views spawning all the pieces. So what we could do is also scale up these parts here, just so less of those ones spawn. So I'm just gonna test this out. I'm gonna apply these. And what we are going to do is set the offsets to 70, and the height might also need to be set to 70 as well. So we'll go through and we'll just set these. Again, I've done it the stupid way and not using any variables for these, since these are usually always going to be the same numbers. You guys should just make a variable to easily set this. In fact, I'm probably gonna do this soon, but for now, my lazy self is not going to do that. Alright, I think we got all of them. So, let's just see how it looks. Hopefully it doesn't use too many. Oh, you know what I should do before running this? I should save. Okay. It's definitely a lot bigger. I think that looks pretty cool, to be honest. Yeah, I think it does look pretty cool. Take a quick peek here. I don't think it's actually stacking. I think that's just, again, because I got the origin messed up. But, I mean, that looks pretty stunning. Yeah, I really like that. So, for our player, we're going to have to edit where he spawns. Eventually, we're... Actually, that is one thing that we need to do. Let me see, how long is this video going for? 24 minutes. What to do? I think we may need to add maybe... no. Let me just take a look here. So... Okay, you know what I'm going to do now? So this instantiate player, I'm going to remove it from the photon manager. And I'm going to chuck it in the island spawner. But I'm going to throw it after it spawns everything. Like so. And now, just for now, let's set his spawn height to 80. And I'm just going to move this here so that in the next video, it will remind me to start creating our random spawns for the island. Okay. Honestly, I think this is a really nice size now. The only thing... Oh yeah, this feels much better. There's heaps of space now. The island itself looks quite nice, just walking around on it. Double tap to run. Oh yeah, this feels great. Get some of that ocean view. Although now our island is practically the same size as that plane we ended up using. But this is pretty nice. Let's see, let's jump down to our sand area. Multiple layers. Whoa, okay. Yes, we're disconnecting. My internet may have just cut out there though. So while my internet boots itself back up, what we may actually be able to do is just get... Is this going to be a good idea? Well, yeah, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to attempt to do. Let's copy our raycast and drop our player inside. Let's call it player offset. And then we are going to get this and call it player offset. And we are just going to spawn the player on our... Actually, we'll create a new vector3 and we'll spawn the player at hit.point.x, then hit.point.y plus 1, and then hit.point.z. The reason why we're moving the player up 1 unit is so that he doesn't end up spawning on trees, because doing it this way he will end up... let's just call this p hit because we are already using other ones. That should stop our errors. Okay, so we're basically doing the same as spawning everything else. What we may do instead of doing it the full length is maybe we'll just give it, say, 60. We'll leave the Y height. Okay, let's try that. Hey, there we go. I literally just spawned exactly on the ground, so that's pretty cool. Let's give it another try. There we go, exactly on the ground again. Turns out we didn't need to do anything next episode to do with our player spawns. Join random. Alrighty. It's already a fun game. I could spawn in this all day. Let's go to our scene, see how our island looks. Definitely a very big, interesting island. I just don't feel like these rotate enough. I feel like... I'm not sure. Let's, where is it? For our... This one, yeah, land. So... I'm just gonna make this... We'll go negative 360 to a positive 360 and see if that gives us a more dramatic rotation. Oh, that's never what you want to see. Alright, we're back. Let's see if anything has been damaged. Looks like we're all good. Let's just save this, just in case it didn't compile, play it, and see what happens. Now I am hoping for a more dramatic rotation. Oh yeah, that it makes a huge difference in like how the terrain looks. Huge difference. I don't know about you guys, but it just feels more natural at being like that. Give it another run. Yeah, this is way better. Heaps better. I can walk. Double tap W to run. Got no jump at the moment, but we will add that in the next video. For now, let's just quickly go and build the game, just to make sure it's still running smoothly over the network. Alright, we'll drag this window here. Okay, going random. Oh, okay, whoa. That wasn't a good start. Take two. Let's try and join with this one. Whoa, okay. Well, yeah, we're getting some problems here. Let's try again with this one. This is why you always test when you do some major changes. Let's see, join. Okay, so I'm going to join with the Unity client and see what's going on. Huh. What has changed? Nothing, right? Right, let's close out of these. We spawned fine before. Why? Okay. Please don't break on me now. True, base objects of island doesn't exist anymore. Wait, what? Okay, I guess there were some problems. So let's fix these. What's that? The trees. I got trees back in there. I wonder why these went missing. That's so weird. Oh, grass. Okay. Let's try that again. Hopefully that crash and break the project. That would suck. Going random. Okay. I mean, seems to be working. Try it once more. Okay. Let me just see. Okay, build settings. Okay. Alright, let's try that again. Let's just build and run. Oh, wait, how'd we get the base missing again? What is happening? I'm just gonna cancel this. Base 2. How does it keep going missing? Uh-oh, I think that crash broke this project. That's not gonna be fun to fix. Let's build and run, see what happens. Does anything get removed? Alright, seems like we might just need to be careful with the objects there. Kind of weird. Alright, so let's just go log in with 1 for a sec and make sure it spawns correctly. Oh no. Looks like we got a problem here. I don't get it. We're not getting any errors. Where are they? So we got player 1. That's 1. Okay, the other one isn't even viewable. Okay, what can I do? Oops, did I just... Oh, I didn't. What is happening? This is never what you want to happen to your project. Oh wait, that's right. Good. Yeah, this is so weird. Let's just... Could be maybe that it's simply just spawning inside the ground, and because it's networked, it's acting up. Okay, so that spawns above. Okay. Let's do one more test. Alright, before I even open the other client, I want to make sure that this one spawns in. Come on, please work. Oh, and we're off. We are off. Oh, actually. The way that it just acted up now could have something to do with, let's see here. So we're currently syncing the rigid body. Let's not sync the rigid body anymore. Let's just sync our, transform view. Let's apply that. Alright. I think that may be our problem. Just while that builds. Let's see here. Yep, let's see. I mean, it might not have even been that, because I don't think that sync will affect us. Yeah. This is going to be a strange one to fix. Be a chance that we need to get the body publicly, and also our on collision enter, you may need to say if photon view dot is mine. What we'll do is we'll just say if it's not mine, then we're just going to return. Alright. It is a bit odd though. You have to admit that it's a bit odd. Alright. I'll apply that. Let's give it a quick test just in the engine. We're running just fine in the engine. Starting to look disconnected. I feel like that's my internet more so though. I wonder why it's not giving me, like, these are some really unusual things that are happening for it to not give me any errors or warnings. I feel like Unity crashing is the main cause of this. We're just build and run and hope for the best. If it doesn't work, the video has gone for a very long time. I may just have to figure it out offline and then just make a quick separate video on what's going on with it. Oof. What is that? Yeah. I would love some errors or something. It's a bit hard to debug something that doesn't throw back errors. Just trying to think what it could be. As far as I'm concerned, it shouldn't be doing that. If it works fine in the editor, I wonder why it's not running correctly in the build. It is odd. I will figure it out and I'll get back to you guys. I mean, the main part of what we were doing here is completed. I showed you guys how to make a run. We did end up making a new movement system, which does work. It just isn't working correctly over the network. But the video is dragged on for a little bit too long. So I don't want to drag it on any longer. I will fix it and I will update you guys on the fix for it in the next video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a like and subscribe. Do remember that if you want to use any of the assets I'm currently using for the island generation, I've chucked them all in the Discord free asset area. So just go ahead and if you're new, join the Discord server and pick those assets up. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.